Hello everyone, and welcome to my latest review. And this review is of the Graham Farish Class 150/1 in Regional Railways livery. Now, this Class 150 has been released in 5 different variations. The Class 50/1 has been released in this Regional Railways and also in First North Western and Central Trains livery. And Farish have also released the 150/2 in Arriva and also in Regional Railways. This one is slightly unusual. It's only available in a set, in a train set, so you can't buy these separately. But there are retailers who will separate these out and sell them separately if you want them. If you want the 151 rather than the 152 in Regional Railways, you'll need to have a hunt around on the internet or go in and speak to a friendly local model shop. I bought this, as you can probably see here, from Modeller's Mecca. I'm just going to pop the lids off so we can lessen the reflections here. It comes in a nice hard case when you get it in the set. I didn't need the other parts of the set, so it was quite lucky I found it. Paid £55 for it. There it is, just in the boxes. The interesting thing was when I got it home and put it on the track and tried to run it, it didn't run. The reason for that, after I investigated, I found was because it had already been DCC chipped. So I think I got quite a bargain because I got it DCC chipped for that price. For those who aren't familiar with the prototype, the main difference between the 151 and 152 is the ends, but we'll have a look at that in a second. So you get a power car and a dummy power car, which is really just a coach. The releases in the catalogue, which are available separately, are all blue ribboned, and although this isn't listed as blue ribboned, looking at the detailing on it, it is equivalent to blue ribboned. I'm sure it is blue ribboned level. As I said, it's DCC ready. It requires 2 chips. You'll need 1 in each car. This is because there's no electrical connection between the 2, and you need the chip in the dummy car to enable you to control the directional lighting which this model has. You get detailing packs which include air dams and little shorter rapido couplings, and also speaker housing if you want to make this sound ready. This one in here, I believe, it just contains, well, there are the 2 DCC chips. I've actually converted it back to DC for the moment. And again, a pack of extra detailing there. Shorter NEM rapido couplers and air dams, etc. So let's start by taking the power car out. So as usual with most Farish releases, you have to manipulate the plastic that they put around it and just ease it up. And once you've done that, you can grab the model and have a closer look at it. Put it aside for a second. And there we are. Fair amount of weight there. The motor is at the back here. So unlike the Class 158 I looked at before, it doesn't cover the whole of the body, so you do get some seat detailing, and you can see through on this half of the power car. A pretty plain roof, but accurate. Ends, quite nicely modelled, including a very delicate little aerial here. Need to be a bit careful with that. I usually push it to one side when I'm storing it. Working lights in forward and reverse. You get added windscreen wipers here, some very nice metal handrails. Livery is very nicely applied. I said before when I was looking at the 158, I love the Regional Railways livery. Always have. The underframe detailing is excellent. It really is of the very highest quality. Very detailed. They've picked different parts out in different colours, including this rusty brown here. There's some purple, black, with very, very fine printing here. Yellow and white printing. We've got the Regional Railways Sprinter livery with the BR logo there. NEM coupler pockets. Remove the front coupler at the moment. For the moment, quite short couplers on there at the moment. I'll show you that coupled up in a second. So that's the power car. You've got fine printing on the sides. Overall, a lovely representation of the prototype. This one's 150148. So that's the power car. Let's have a quick look at the dummy car. Well, the dummy car is slightly less to look at because of course it's more like a coach, but again, very nicely applied livery, a lot lighter obviously. Again, remove the front coupler because really it's only going to probably run as the two cars together. You can of course couple it up to other DMUs. This is again pretty plain, simple roof, but accurate enough. You've got a very detailed interior, so you could easily add passengers to that. And again, a very nicely detailed underframe. It has all-wheel pickup. That's just to collect current to run the working lights on the end here. And you will need to open this and put a chip in it, just as you will the power car, if you want the working lights to be controllable. Of course, the lights will work in DC, but you have complete control of them in DCC. There's also some very nice end detail there on the end of the inner ends of the coaches. Overhead warning flashes, nice exhaust, doorway with a window in it, very nice that. So overall, a really, really nice little model there. So let's put them both on a piece of track and have a much closer look at them with the camera. Well, I've got the units now on a piece of Code 55 Pico track, and I think you can see, I don't need to tell you just how lovely and detailed that is. I'm afraid this is the closest, this is the most magnification I can get and keep the camera in focus, so I can't go any closer than that, unfortunately. Now, looking at the coupling there, that's two short shank rapido couplers, came with it, and the gap isn't too bad, but they are clunky and very unrealistic. So I know I say this every time, but you might want to consider perhaps changing those if you obtain one of these for something that's a bit slimmer and it doesn't draw the eye quite so much. Knuckle couplers, something like that. This one is the power unit, and there you can see just the level of detail on it. It really is excellent. Lovely livery, all sorts of fine printing and detailing. You get some nice recessing on the doors, and the windows are nicely glazed. It's great, lovely. I'm just going to do a shot of the end. Well, there's a close-up shot of the end, and as I said before, I've removed the front coupler. I don't think it's needed, and you can see the fine detail here, little wire handrails and a little bit of cab detail inside, and it does look mightily impressive when it's running around on the track with the lights working. It's a shame you have to fork out two chips for it, but the only alternative would have been some kind of electrical connection between the two. Perhaps that's something that Farish could look at in the future, because it does make a difference in terms of the cost, although you could probably go for a cheaper, less something like one of the Bachmann chips for the dummy, because all you need is lights control and something a bit more like a TCS or something like that, or a Zymo for the power car if you want that real good control. So now I'm just going to show a couple of clips of it running. Once again, it's going to be on the Model Railway Club test layout which enabled me to run it on a long big oval of track. This time it's going to be running on DC because the DCC chips weren't fitted when I took it over there. One small note of caution, changing this, putting the chips in, you get instructions to do it. Taking these bodies off is a really fiddly job, much more difficult than, for instance, the DAPL Class 58, which just slides straight off. So you need to be a little bit careful of the underframe detail as you're taking the body off. So take your time, be patient with that, because it's very easy to damage all of this underframe detail. The body seems quite tricky to take off, and you have to kind of slide your fingers underneath and open it a little bit to get it to pop off the chassis. So here it is, running, as I said, on the Model Railway Club test circuit.
Walmart, Walmart. Got rid of it. Oh yeah, they did their There you go, put it back in. C40-8, yeah. White cap, yeah. They got on the Atlas one, they got a change in the bogie, the truck from the bogie under it, and I was trying to, I managed to break it like that when I was.
Well, my verdict, well, this has got to be 9 out of 10. I can't find any way of reducing it. I know that I seem to have kind of got into a habit of giving models 9 out of 10, but I've reviewed this and the DAPL Class 58 and the Farish Jubilee, and all of them are really high standard, and this is no exception. It's very, very nicely detailed. In particular, the underframe is absolutely excellent. It runs nicely, it's DCC ready. You can pick it up out of the set, split from the set for 50 or 60 pounds, and it's well worth doing because, as I say, it's the 150/1, and it's not available separately elsewhere. If you'd rather go for the 150/2, which is very similar except the main difference being that the ends are like corridor connection ends, then that is available separately. And though all of these are still in the new release Graham Farish catalogue, so they should be available at least in the foreseeable future. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to be back soon with more videos soon. Please comment, rate and subscribe in the box below. You know the drill by now, I'm sure. Any suggestions or questions or requests, gratefully accepted. As I say, hope to be back soon. Until then, thank you for watching this video. Please take care, and I'll see you soon.